Hey guys, morning. I'm gonna go and set up the room real quick and then we can get started. So today is November 24th, Wednesday. Thanksgiving's tomorrow, so market might be a bit slow today, but we'll see what happens as market opens. So let me just go and set this up real quick. Once everything's all set up, we can get started and we should be good to go. It's good. All right. Let me go and send this link out for you guys here in the premium. All right. It's good right there, guys. So everything's all set up, ready to go. Let everybody into the room real quick. Go ahead and make sure everyone's muted. All right, cool, guys. It's 6:22 right now, so we got about 8 minutes till market open. I'll allow people to make their way in real quick before we get started with our, with our analysis here. All right, cool. People are still making their way in, guys. So I'll give it a few more minutes and then we will get started. All right, solid. Everything looks good. Hey, Don, this morning. So guys, good morning. Today is Wednesday, November 24th. It's the day before Thanksgiving here in the US. So market might be a bit slow today, or it might be a bit quick. We might see people trying to unload their positions before the holiday. We also might see a lot of people just sitting out of the market as we get close to Thanksgiving and Black Friday the following day. So we'll see what happens soon. Market is opening in about 6 minutes. Once the market opens, we can determine how much volatility is in market for today, but we might not expect very much. So morning Fahad, morning Maria, morning Peter, morning everyone. Hopefully you guys had a great trading week so far. I had a couple of trades that I took pre-market and last night, so I'm currently up about 1,000 per for my mini account and my copier. But I'll take a screenshot of that later. Actually, I'll take a screenshot of it now, just to have it ready. So let's see, got everything good right here. Make sure we have the pages here. If you guys messaged me, I got back to some of you guys, not everyone yet. So let me just take a screenshot of profits from last night. That's good. And my copier account right here. So I mean, not amazing, but $1,000 per account isn't horrible for Wednesday, especially Wednesday like today. So morning everyone. Morning Professor, morning Lisa, morning Jay, morning Jennifer, morning Miles, morning everyone. Jay said no fake news today. Yeah, we'll check the news real quick. Let me check the news to see if there's anything playing. So let's just go through here real quick, look at the news first. So looking over here, we have today's Wednesday, November 24th. Today we have core PC price index at 7. We have revised UOM consumer sentiment at 7. New home sales, personal income, personal spending. Revised UOM inflation expectations, crude oil inventories at 7:30, natural gas storage at 9, and then we have the Fed meeting at 11. So just keep in mind, there's a lot of news today. So there's probably still going to be some movement in the market, even though people will be sitting out, due to the holiday tomorrow. But we'll see what happens in a bit. So morning Chris, morning Brian, morning everyone. Let's go over to the IG sentiment. So for IG sentiment, currently it is 56% short, meaning that 56% of retail traders are currently short in the market. This is kind of similar to how it was yesterday. It was about 55%. So you can see that the market hasn't really moved very much. I mean, it's moved, but with regard to retail traders switching from sell to buy or from buy to sell, not very much. It's been a small movement with regard to the entry of new retail traders into a US 30 since yesterday. Going over to the fundamentals over here, it's currently 185 points in the red. So it's currently very bearish at this moment. However, it doesn't mean this is going to be very bearish when the market actually opens in the next 4 minutes. So it's 6:26 right now. Market is opening at 6:30. So we got about 4 minutes till market open. Now let's take a look at the technicals. So looking over here at the technicals on the 1 minute, it's currently bearish. Reason for that is because price is below the pivots and the trend meter. It was red. Currently now it's blue. It's turning back to red. But you can see here on the 1 minute, it is a bit indecisive, right? Price is now going between the pivots and just going sideways. Going over to the 3 minute, this is still bearish. You can see that price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red. So this indicates that price is currently bearish on the 3 minute. Going to the 10 minute, same situation. Price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red, indicating that price is currently bearish right now. So overall, it looks like on the technical side, things are bearish. On the 1 minute, price is slightly moving to the upside, but it's not necessarily very strong. It's barely moving up there. It's displaying a lot of wicks on the current candle. It's looking like it's attempting to swing back to the bottom side, which is probably what's going to happen. When the market opens in 3 minutes, we don't know if this will swing up or swing down. So currently right now, there's not really much for us to look at right now specifically, but looking at the technicals, it does look bearish. So technicals look bearish. Fundamentals look bearish. Retail sentiment is bearish right now, but it's not very strong. It's 56%. So it's pretty much neutral at this point until it goes up to maybe 65, 75, 80%. Then we can have a bias with regard to retail sentiment. But currently right now, there really isn't much of a bias. Fundamentals are bearish. Technicals are bearish. So market looks pretty much bearish for right now, but we'll see what happens when the market actually opens. So morning, Rick. Morning, Matt. Morning, everyone. Main's asking, is there a reason that low swing did a reversal or you wouldn't have taken that trade? So man, I remind you guys every morning that I don't trade right before market opens. Market is opening in 2 minutes. So I wouldn't take any trades between 6 o'clock until 6:30 because exactly what you just mentioned right now, the reversal happened, right? It usually happens because market's going to open and it swings back to where it's supposed to go, which is supposed to be bullish. So that's the main reason why I wouldn't have taken it. I never take trades that like around that time. I remind you guys every day not to take trades right before market opens like that. So the main reason why I wouldn't have taken it is because market is opening shortly. And it's the same, it's the same thing that we look out for pretty much every morning. Because right here, you can see that it started to swing up around 6:30 or 6 o'clock, right? So from 6 o'clock to 6:30, this is literally pre-market and the market opens right here at 6:30. So what could happen at this point is price will correct back down or price will continue to where it was switching up from pre-market. So that's why I wouldn't have taken that. Main reason is because it's right at market open. So market is opening in about 15 seconds. When the market opens, we'll see what happens from there. Morning, Paul. Morning, Matt. Morning, Rick. Morning, everyone. Yeah, no problem, man. You just got to keep that in mind. A lot of people don't forget about that little period of time right before market opens. And you can see where price is going now, right? Just exactly where we anticipated. We were anticipating price to either come back down to where it was prior to it swinging back up or to it continue to push back to the upside. But as you can see right here, price is coming down. Everything was bearish. Fundamentals are bearish. Technicals are bearish. So odds were that price was going to continue down further. However, it's not one that I would take because there just is no confirmation. Also, this candle right here, if this candle was a strong bearish candle, means a little wick on the bottom side, we could have taken it for a breakout, but there was a big wick on the bottom side right here, so I probably wouldn't have taken that trade. Going over here to the fundamentals, let's refresh this. Okay, so it's currently down 209 points. So we're very strong bearish today for US 30. Looking over here at the actual stock index, the entire stock index is completely red. There's about 4 stocks down here that are green, but they're not very green at all. They're not even up by 1 point. Everything is very red, pretty much red market altogether. So our bias today is going to be a sell. So, if you wanted to take this as the breakout, just like I mentioned earlier, guys, I wouldn't have taken it because the wick on the bottom was kind of big. It's not that big, but it's still pretty big. Like, for example, right here. It depends. Depending on how you analyze candlesticks, you know, this is subjective because for me personally, I don't like entering when the wicks are like bigger than they should be, but you can see the body of the candle compared to the wick. Some people probably would have taken this as a breakout. I wouldn't have taken it, but if I was to take it, I would wait for, you know, a following candle here. That would be a strong red one. Something similar to like this one up here. You can see this candle right here was a red candle, wasn't too big. And then there's little to no wick on the bottom side. I generally don't want the candle to be too big. And I also don't want it to have a huge wick on the bottom end. So if we get a strong red candle in the next 4 minutes or so, then I could take that as a breakout. But currently right now, it's not one that I would necessarily take just yet. All right, cool. All right, so we got about 40 seconds left on this candle here. If this candle closes strong bearish, meaning a red candle with little to no wick on the bottom side, then that could be classified as the breakout. But you can see price keeps bouncing back and forth right here, which is normal. But you can see here the stock index is completely red. So I'll wait a bit before entering anything at this moment. Hey, Kenny, morning. So Charlie said the variation for a buy wouldn't apply because there's no buy signal at the market and the market is bearish. So technically for the variation, Charlie, the signals and the market like bias doesn't really matter because for the variation, you're going for like a really quick move, like just quick spike to the upside. For this right here, I wouldn't have taken this variation because you need the double wick rejection on the bottom, right? So this thing rejected right here off the low, but the following candle next to it didn't reject off the low as well. So it's got to be a double, like pretty much double wick off it. Something like let me see if I can find one here. I don't think there's been a variation anytime recent, like right here. So right here we had the low and the candle following it was another wick that touched it. So that would have been a variation for a buy. Even though it was bearish, you could have taken that for a quick variation to the upside. So it doesn't really matter where the trend's going because you're going for a really quick move. It's not anything like you're not holding it for that long. You're expecting to get in and out like within a minute or so, like that following candle. So yeah, that's the main reason why this would be a variation right here. This wouldn't be a variation either because the following candle didn't touch it. Same with these. So none of these right here are variations. The most recent one would have been this one over here at 432. All right, you can see how price is swinging back up right here. That's exactly why I wouldn't enter these trades, right? Because you can see prices being heavily manipulated, right? Everything here is red. There's like barely any stocks here that are green. There's like one stock that's like actually green, which is United Health. Going over here at the stock index average, it's currently 143 points in the red. I'm not necessarily looking to enter these trades because this thing might just come crashing right back down. Until the fundamentals change back to bullish, when this goes like 100 points in the green, then I'll start looking for some buys. But currently right now, it's still pretty red. I'm not looking to enter any of these trades and getting caught in any of these moves here. Technically, this would have been a high-low entry, but I'm not playing with the market right now because it's just bouncing back and forth. So this would have been a high-low entry, and this would have hit full TP already, right there. So as you guys can see, the strategy works perfectly fine. It's just, depending on how much risk you want to take. If you want to risk taking these trades that are very like against the trend, against the fundamentals, you can take them and you might get lucky cashing these because they still hit. It's just, I wouldn't take them because there's so many red flags in the market right now, indicating that price is going to come right back down. But you can see right here, there's a high-low entry. There's a buy signal. So one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that you need the buy signal, right? People think that just because it breaks a high, you can take the trade. It's not always going to work out that way. You need the sell signal or the buy signal in order to take the trade because that's going to confirm the momentum swing. If you don't trade in the direction of momentum, you can get caught on the wrong side very easily. So right here, yeah, Charlie said the 3-minute daily as well. So another 3-minute daily here. I'm not going to take this trade either, guys. Like this thing is just moving it's way too risky because price is currently very strong for a sell, but price is just skyrocketing back to the upside. Basically what's happening right now is people are buying the discount because prices come down so heavy. There was a news update right here. I don't know what happened to it. There was a little update here, like breaking news. They mentioned that a lot of people are going to buy the discount when it's slowing down. And that's exactly what's happening at this point. But it's probably going to come right back down. I'm not going to mess with it until we have a better confirmation. But there goes, the 3-minute daily, just what Charlie mentioned. And then also the high low that was here. There was actually a couple entries. So there was a high low entry off this candle, also a intraday entry right here, and then also a pivot scalp. So there was like 3 entries off that candle there, but I wouldn't have taken it just because of the fact that it was moving around so radically. And it's going against the bias. So as you can see right here, this is like, you guys got to remember, if you're applying the high-low scalp, you need to confirm all of these requirements. You can't just have one requirement where price breaks and closes at high. Anyone can do that, but you can still end up on the wrong side if you're not trading the direction of momentum. So as you can see, price came up here. It rejected off the Asia high over here, I believe, or Asia low, and it's coming right back down. And this is an area where you guys definitely don't want to be trading. Whenever price gets near the session highs and lows, I usually just avoid the trade altogether, because when price gets to these points where the previous session high lows are, one of the 2 things can happen. Price will either break above it and continue pushing, or price can spike down. So you're kind of gambling at this point if you decide to take a trade in either direction. There's no guarantee it's going to go in one way or the other. Obviously there's no guarantees in trading, so you guys don't want to be too strung up in one direction, as bias can change at any moment. All right. So there goes that 3-minute right there, 3-minute daily. We're not going to take that trade. So obviously, or we didn't take that trade, so it's not going to be counted, obviously. But you guys can see right there that it did hit. This week's is a week to be a bit careful, because you guys got to keep in mind that tomorrow is Thanksgiving for us in the US, and it's one of the biggest US holidays. So usually during that time, you're going to see a lot of weird movement in the market. Either the market's going to be really slow, or it's going to be really fast because people are trying to pull out or buy discounts right before the holiday. So let me just mark up these zones right here. All right, got that there. Got there. I think that's it for now. Just looking at any possible, I know some of you guys are looking for some snipes here. Okay, so the daily entry yesterday, let me show you guys real quick. So the daily entry from yesterday actually was bouncing back and forth. I mean, we didn't take the trade, but you can see how erratic it was, right? It went back and forth so often. I didn't take the daily entry because I did mention how risky it is. We'll follow for today if there's another daily entry, but it's not one that I necessarily plan on taking, mainly because of the holiday, guys. I'm not looking at taking any big moves right now because of the holiday. You're going to see a lot of like weird movements in price. Like price just goes back and forth. There's no clear direction where price just continues to go up or price continues to go down. So I'm not really messing with any of those right now. This would be a snipe entry. So if anyone's looking for the snipe, this is the one that we just were looking at not too long ago. There was a rejection off the pivot, rejection off the structure. So first requirement, wick rejection off the K2 pivot, rejected off this red pivot right here. Second, you want to confirm a wick rejection off the K2 SR zone, rejected off the zone right here. Third, you want to confirm wick rejection. The wick rejection off pivot does not touch the candle body. So the pivot's right here, body's down here, completely fine. And lastly, you want to confirm you're trading in the direction of momentum. So right here, we had a sell signal, and this right here was qualified as an entry. So you would have entered a sell right there. It's currently in profit. But as I mentioned earlier, it's not one that I would necessarily take. I'm not looking to take any bigger moves right now. Even a 500 pip move is a bit risky because price keeps bouncing back and forth. The fundamentals are very strong for a sell. However, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to keep pushing. So it's currently down 148 points, but you can see price is just bouncing back and forth right now. There's no clear direction. Price goes down, comes right back up as people buy the discount. It's not one that I would necessarily take. So I'm not taking this trade here. I'm looking for something on the shorter time frames as we continue to follow through with these entries here. Nothing up 3 minute. The 1 minute over here. This is currently gonna put the high there, and then we'll put the low right here. Let me see over here. Paul said 100 points in the red now. After today, I'm not trading for the rest of the week. No, good idea, Paul, because well, tomorrow the markets will be very slow due to Thanksgiving. And then on Friday, the market is probably going to be, pretty dead as well, because a lot of people are just going to take an extended weekend. Kenny's question is, when trading with a Ftmo account, do you have to take a certain amount of trades a month? No, Kenny, once you're funded, you can take as many trades as you want. They took away the 10-day trading minimum, so you don't need to trade a minimum 10 days anymore. Before you had to, but not anymore. And even if that was the case, like back when they had that requirement, it wasn't a big deal because you can just take it like a small lot size, like a penny lot, 0.01, just open, close to count a day. You can check with them, but I'm pretty sure that they took it off like the last time they gave an update where it was no longer necessary. So this right here would be an entry using the pivot scalp strategy. However, like I was mentioning before, guys, it's still a bit risky. So it's not one that I would take right away. You can see that it's starting to pull back. It'll get close to the bottom with that sell signal, and then it'll just pull right back. So that was a pending entry using the pivot scalp, but it did not close. With it not closing like that, obviously no entry available. We got another high right here, or low, I mean. So you guys can see that the range is getting a bit tighter, right? So for example, right here, this is the first range. This is pretty much the big range, and then this is going to be the smaller range down here. So in order for this to establish, we need about 4 or 5 candles after this one to establish this as low. So right here we have 1 candle, we need 2, 3, 4. If we have 4 candles going this way, then it'll establish it as low. And then if price breaks below here with the sell signal, then that'll be perfect, because then that would indicate that it's an entry for both of these strategies over here, for both the pivot scalp and for the high-low scalp. Technically, again, right here, this would be an entry using the pivot scalp, but like I mentioned, guys, it's a bit risky because it's a bit overextended, and the candles aren't necessarily closing very strong. Price will get close to it, and then when it gets close to it, it just pulls back, right? You can see that it drops, and then there's a huge wick on the bottom side, and then it just pulls back a little bit. So that's something that you guys definitely want to be careful of if you guys do decide to take any of these trades right here. I'm looking for a double confluence, basically 2 strategies that line up with each other, or even 3 strategies. If we have 2 or 3 strategies that line up with each other, meaning we have an entry with the pivot scalp, and then it lines up with an entry for a high low, plus if it enters with an entry for the momentum, or not the momentum, the intraday, then those would all be good indicators that this trade will be a almost guaranteed hit, because you guys have seen it before, right? Like for example, like this right here, not this one. Actually, no, it wouldn't be this one. Let's see if there was another entry here that happened recently. No, that was validated. Not that one. I think there was one that was recent. I saw someone take a trade earlier and it lined up, or not. Let's see. I don't know if it was today or if it was yesterday. But I've been showing you guys examples of that recently. That's been happening very often. Let me see. I'll just come back to it later because we're currently looking for a trade. But later on, I'll show you guys an example. Basically, I'm looking for an entry that lines up with almost 2 or 3 strategies here that all hit at the same time. Oh yeah, thanks, D. So D confirmed that news is coming up shortly. So looking at the news event right here, we have news at 7, I believe, right? Yeah, we got core PCE price index. So we got news coming up shortly. Let's see if we can catch a trade from now until then. If we catch a trade by like 650, then we'll take it. If it doesn't happen by then we're probably gonna hold off. So this right here just keeps appearing and disappearing. No entry off that. You can see the candles here are very indecisive, right? Price will come up, come down, and then it'll just disappear. All right, so nothing off this right now. Still same situation. Price is just ranging within this area. So as you guys can see, this is the bigger range, and then this is a smaller range right here. And price is now just going sideways at this moment. Yeah, no, definitely, Maddie. Maddie said the range is getting tighter. Sam said that the snipe got full TP. So let's go over to the snipe real quick. So yeah, whoever caught the snipe over here, it just hit full TP. So congrats to whoever caught that. I know some of you guys mentioned it earlier. I forgot who called it out. Yeah, someone confirmed earlier. I don't remember who called it out, but someone called out the snipe, and it did play out. So yeah, Sam, whoever caught the trade here for the snipe, full TP off that. I didn't take the trade. You know, I did mention how risky it was, but it did line up with everything else because we did have fundamentals here for a sell. It was currently down 145 points. You know, the actual stock index here was completely red as well. Futures data was red as well. Retail sentiment was currently neutral, 55% short. So whoever caught the sell there, nice work. I didn't take it, but whoever did, you know, great work to whoever pulled into that. But yeah, the range is getting tighter right now, Maddie. It's kind of what I'm looking for right here. I'm looking for a double entry, basically. If I get a buy, I'm probably not going to take it because the fundamentals are still very red. So I'd probably wait for it to swing down. Also, you know, I'd wait for that sell signal to confirm. Even though this would be an entry for a high low. The thing is, we have a buy signal here, so we're still looking for buys if you're playing the high low. 1, 2, 3. This is 3 candles. You need one more candle after this to confirm this as the high. And then if price does close above there, you can possibly take it as a buy, applying the high low, but it's not one that I would necessarily take. I don't like trading against the fundamentals like that, especially when they're so strong. Nothing on the 3-minute. Let's go over to the clean chart. See how everything is moving. Over here. So we got 6:30, which is right here. 8 o'clock, which is there. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 12 o'clock. All right. So looking at this right here, this is where the market opened at 6:30. And this would be opening price. So price is like way above here. What might happen at this point, if you guys remember, you know, price might just come back down, retest the opening price, and then from there it can bounce up, or it can, you know, obviously break below. But who knows? It doesn't necessarily have to happen, but if it does happen, that's going to be a good point to look out for, where price is going to come, you know, farther down, which I think is going to happen. You can see it is dropping right here pretty heavily. So as you guys can see, price is starting to drop down. And, you know, going from this chart over here, you can see how it kind of lines up with where price currently is. So price started below here, pulled down slightly, shot all the way back up, rejected off the Asia low, and then now it's on its way back down. And that's pretty much what we're waiting for. So looking at the current highs and the lows right now, this high and this low has been established, and it's been established because there's been 4 candles after it. So this right here is established. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is now the high. For this low right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. If this candle right here closes, this will now be established as the low. So price broke below it. This low is no longer established. This is now going to be the new low. And as I mentioned before, guys, I'm not going to take these pivot scalps yet because it's just too risky. This candle is too big, so it needs to pull back a bit. Also, the new low has been established right here. So I was hoping that this candle right here would close above it so that it can establish this as the low, and the next candle we can take the sell. However, that didn't happen. What happened here is that price broke below it, and now this is now the new pending low. So this low has not been established. I know this is an entry using the pivot scalp, but it's a really big candle. If you measure this candle here, it's very regular compared to the normal size candles. This candle is about 500 pips almost. So with that said, it's probably going to pull back about halfway, which it did right here. So halfway is about 25 points, which is 250 pips. And that's where it pulled back to for the most part. So I'm not taking this trade right here, obviously. We're waiting for this confirmation. And this is fine. If price starts to range within this area, that's even better, because you want this range to get tighter and tighter. As the range gets tighter, then we can start looking for price to break outside of them. But currently right now, it's not really what we're looking for at the moment. So nothing here. And this is normal, guys. This isn't unusual for price to be moving like this. If you guys are just joining the live session, keep in mind that tomorrow is Thanksgiving. It's one of the biggest holidays here in the US, aside from Christmas and New Year's. So price is going to move this way. It's going to move back and forth. Also, we have news coming up shortly. So now that we have news coming up at 7, I'm not going to be taking any trades until after the news is passed. We also have news following that at 7:30, crude oil inventory. So there's a lot of back-to-back news today. But we'll see how this over here affects the market. They're anticipating price to be, previously the core PCE price index was 0.4%. They're forecasting it to be, previously it was 0.2%. And they're forecasting it to be 0.4. So they're forecasting it to be positive. And that might cause it to, spike to the upside. So I'm not looking to take any trades right now. We're waiting for the news to pass. The news is coming in about 7 minutes. So what I'll do right now is I will take a look at, yeah, Sam said it's too risky for him. Yeah, it's risky for me too. I wouldn't be necessarily looking to take any of these risky trades at this moment. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to show you when there's like a double entry or a triple entry. Basically, with regard to these strategies here. So let me just rewind over here real quick, see if this is an entry here. Okay, so this is a perfect entry. This is exactly what I was looking for. So as you guys can see right here, this candle right here confirms 3 different strategies. So using the intraday strategy, basically all you're looking for is a sell momentum signal, and you're matching it with a trend meter down here, right? So the trend meter is red, sell signals is red as well. So with that said, that's one strategy, right? There's one strategy entry. For the second strategy, we have a pivot scalp here as well. So we have a sell signal and it's below the pivots. So that's 2 strategies right there that line up off this single candle. For the third entry, or the third strategy, we have a high-low scalp right here as well, right? Because we have a low right here. It's been established 1, 2, 3, 4. You confirm that price broke and closed below it. You confirm that we have a sell signal indicating that momentum is going to go in this direction. And then also you want to make sure that this low has not been tested in the past. So looking past here from this low to now, it hasn't been tested, right? So with this break and close, there's 3 entries here. There's an intraday entry, there's a pivot scalp entry, and then there's also a high-low entry. So if you were to take this trade here for a sell, this trade's like almost guaranteed to hit because there's so many confluences off this trade here. So you let this trade run, and there you go, full TP, right? That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that lines up with multiple strategies because it gives you that confluence that this trade's probably going to hit. Because if you had 3 entries, you basically have 3 thumbs up that are like, okay, this is an entry for this strategy, there's an entry for this strategy, and an entry for this other strategy. So with all that said, odds are it's probably going to hit, and I would have taken this trade. That's exactly what I'm looking for now, because I'm being very careful with the trades that I decide to take, because it's a risky time to trade right now, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So some people aren't patient. You get people here in K2, well, not just in K2, but in general, that just complain because they say that I'm just like not taking any trades and I'm too careful. Well, I'm too careful for a reason. It's the reason why you guys are blowing accounts and I'm not, because I'm being very careful and selective with my trades here. People who keep blowing their accounts is because they're not patient enough. You guys got to be disciplined, and you guys got to wait for those perfect entries. You can't take every single entry, even though it looks good. Like for example, if you took this here for a pivot scalp, you would have lost. If you took this here for a pivot scalp, you would have lost again. So that's back-to-back losses right there. And for us, we had no losses because we haven't been taking these trades here that we've deemed to be risky. So, you guys gotta know the difference between a risky trade and a not risky trade. And you guys have to understand when not to take the trades. So this right here, if you took this trade, it would have pulled back, stopped out immediately. If you took this trade right here, it would have pulled back, stopped out immediately as well. So this is why you guys got to be really careful with what you guys are taking. These strategies are given to provide entries for you, but you still have to weigh the risk with each trade. A lot of people are looking for those guaranteed moves. The guaranteed moves is when you line them up. When you line them up with other strategies, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm using as many confluences as possible to confirm my move before I enter it, because it's key. Yeah, Randy said, yeah, I got impatient yesterday, lost way too much, took the rest of the day off, threw a few things around. Yeah, no, Randy, you got to be careful too. Like, especially this week, if you guys have seen my trades, I haven't really been trading very much this week. I took maybe like 1 or 2 trades every single day. And they've been wins, because I've been very careful with what I'm taking. I'm not taking every single trade. I know I've seen other people in the group who've been locking in some massive profits, like, Albert. He's been very on point with his. He's clocked in 628 today so far. And then his other account over here, he locked in 1,217. So great work by Albert over here and by everyone else. Albert's other account again right here, locked in a total of 2,091. Nice work, Albert. And then his other account again right here, 2,846. So as you can see, depending on your risk tolerance, Albert knows what he's doing. He understands his risk. If he loses, he knows that he's taking these trades at his own risk. Like, he knows that market's risky, but he's still taking trades and he's hitting them. So he's definitely, in profit. But for me, it's like I'm taking a few trades and I'm winning, but I'm not necessarily taking a whole bunch. Like right here too, Brian said, London, caffeine, and insomnia pivot collection. So Brian here stayed up during London session, locked in a total of 1,937. So if you guys understand your risk, accept the wins, but also accept the losses, because you guys knew that the market was going to be risky and that it's not always going to go your way. So, just keep that in mind. Dell over here as well, currently at 911. So great work right there, Dell. And then Maddie over here too. So Maddie said, nice little dub for Thanksgiving, might just head to the barbershop. So Maddie over here, currently locked in a total of 1,476, a couple wins right here. He understood the market was risky, but he also understood what the bias was, right? The bias was a sell. So Maddie's looking for sells and he caught some nice trades right here. I'll post my profits too shortly. I'll just post them right now to show you guys where I'm currently sitting. So let me just send you guys this real quick. So this is my account right now. I took one trade, Asia session, took one trade pre-market. Not too many trades, but I'm still doing okay right now as well. So these are from last night. That's why they're buys, because the bias last night was a buy, not a sell. So these are just currently what I have. I'm looking to lock in another one. I want at least one more trade, but with the news coming up shortly, news is coming up in about a minute, guys. So it is 6:59 right now. News is coming up at 7. So I'm showing you guys, this is what I currently have on my account. Maddie over here caught the buys off there. Right? Yeah, so he caught the lower low strategy. There's a couple different strategies, and yeah, no, I can see that too, Maddie. Because there's a couple different not really strategies, but confluences that we're working on. In regard to implementing the lower lows and the higher highs, and they work perfectly nice, but it's something that we're still working on. So me and Maddie are working on that currently. It's not exactly a strategy; it's just a confluence with entering other trades, whether it be a good one or a bad one. We'll be looking. Let's see. Peter said, imagine people complaining that someone is too careful. This is not the casino. Yeah, exactly. You got to manage risk properly, guys, with trading. D said, I'm learning it's best not to get in a trade that day or only get in 1 or 2 rather than hit the risky ones and lose. Better to make no money, little money than lose money. 100% D. And that's exactly what I do here, right? And that's what I always emphasize for you guys. That it's always important that you guys are managing your risk properly. And if you guys have to lock in smaller profits, that's cool. So there's an entry right here off the high low. It's not one that I'm personally looking to take because the fundamentals are still red. So I'm not going against the fundamentals. This is the main red flag here for that buy there. So there was a buy entry that was available right there, but it's not one that I would personally take because it is it's against the fundamentals. So if it hits, it hits, but it's not one that I would take. So I'm trying to give you guys, understanding here. Like even though there's an entry here using the high low, I wouldn't take it because the fundamentals are red. I'm not taking any trades that have any red flags. Currently right now, bias is bullish, bias is bearish. So I'm not looking to take any bullish moves, even though it would have hit full TP right there, right? So as you guys can see, it does work, but I'm explaining to you guys that this is risky. And the reason why it's risky is because fundamentals were red. But if you're going for a small move like this, it could possibly hit, which it did right here. And this was using the high-low scalp strategy, right? So you want to confirm, the previous high, which is right here, confirm price break and close this candle, confirm you're trading in the direction of momentum. If you go back right here, the most recent signal was a buy signal, right? So price pulled down a little bit and then it shot up. And also you want to make sure that price isn't ranging or consolidating. So looking at this here, price is going sideways. So it was going sideways here, but it broke out of it. So it's no longer in a range or consolidation. Lastly, you just want to confirm that price hasn't touched this point. But another red flag, so one red flag was that fundamentals were bearish. Another red flag was that there was news here. So let's see if the positive news did play out, because that's probably what pushed price to the upside. So we'll refresh this right here. Looking at the news for this morning, it was pretty much neutral, or it was what they expected. So the news was positive, but it was neutral. It wasn't higher than what they forecasted. It was exactly on forecast. So the news was positive here. This news was positive. The new home sales was negative, but this doesn't necessarily affect the market too heavily. It's a yellow folder. It's not a red or orange. And then everything else here was positive. So all positive news right here caused price to push the upside. And then now it's coming right back down because price bounced off the Asia low again right here. But you guys can kind of get what I'm saying here, right? Like there's an entry that's available here. If you like to take risky trades, you're more than welcome to take it. I don't take risky trades, so that's why I personally don't take it. And just like what Peter mentioned earlier, this isn't a casino, guys. You have to play with like you're the house. Like when I trade, I only trade like I'm the casino, because I trade when I have the most confidences and I trade when I have the highest probability. I don't necessarily hop into these trades here that have, decent probability, but not a very high probability. Even though it would hit, I'm gonna let that go, because you don't have to take every single trade and you don't have to trade every single day. You can take, the trades that line up with your risk appetite. If you're willing to take risky trades, take it. If you're not, then just wait for the better trade to come along. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. Let me see. Paul said, I'm using my Ftmo demo account to practice trading Tokyo session. It moves so damn slow. Yeah, no, I agree, Paul. Tokyo session is probably the slowest session, with regard to all the other sessions. Mostly because the volume during that time period is very low. So this low right here has been broken. It's been used. So now the new low is going to be right here. Move this over right there. And now this is going to be the high-low points up here and down here. Price right here tested it. So this is no longer going to be the high. You can see that it rejected right off it. That's no longer the high anymore. The high is going to be up here and the low is going to be down here. Other than that, I don't see anything else for us to look at this moment. Yeah, if you guys have questions, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we're just going to be waiting for these entries to come up. Let's see this right here. Yeah, there really isn't much for us to take at the moment. We're just pretty much waiting for something. Well, the main thing that we'll be looking for here is if the fundamental starts to, you can see the fundamentals are getting less on the sell side, right? If this goes into green, then we'll start looking for buys. But currently right now, price has every opportunity to come right back down. The reason for that is because it keeps testing this Asia low right here. If it fails to break past the Asia low and close, it's probably gonna come right back down. It's just a matter of time. So we'll see what happens here. All right, so we got a pending signal here. You guys can see that the range is pretty wide, right? We want the range to tighten up a bit again. It's too wide at this moment, so as it gets closer, as it comes back down, the range will just get closer and closer like it did earlier. But currently at the moment, there isn't really much for us to look at. Let me go over to the 3-minute. If you guys have questions, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. Another confirmation that we have our mentoring session today at 1. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys don't have your questions ready right now, you just make sure you have your questions ready later so that I can answer all the questions that you guys have. And then we can enter this this holiday break with the knowledge that you guys need to practice. If you guys are going to back test during the holidays or even forward test, you guys will be ready to look for that. So looking at this right here, if this closes how it does right here, this is technically going to be a snipe for a buy. However, it's not a buy that I would necessarily recommend taking because it's rejecting off the Asian low right here. So unless it closes above, then maybe it'd be a good entry. However, if it doesn't, then it's something that you probably would want to hold off on for taking because it's just too risky to be to be taking trades when it's close to the session highs like that. This price can easily just bounce off. That's pretty much what's happening here, or what it looks like. Pretty much on all the time frames. Here on the 10 minutes, rejecting off the Asian low. Same here on the 3-minute, price is failing to break above it. And then lastly here on the 1 minute as well. So as you can see, price is starting to make its way back to the downside, but looks like volatility has pretty much died down. Market isn't really moving very much now. Well, let's see what happens. 707 right now. See, price comes all on its way back down. So this looks like this would be the pending low. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the next couple of seconds to see if it closes like that. Yeah, it hasn't closed yet. Nice. Paul said I made 2,233 today. Happy and done for the day. Definitely, Paul. That's good. That's good news. And I think that's off your funded account, right, Paul? So you're good, man. Yeah, no, definitely. So congrats to Paul over here. If you guys remember, Paul got funded this week. I think this is like his 3rd or 2nd day trading on his funded account. Pretty much straight wins. 2nd day. Nice, Paul. So this is Paul's 2nd day trading on his funded account. And he's had straight wins both days. So great work, Paul. It's all about consistency and sticking to the plan. I see a lot of people who get funded and then they blow your account like right after because they start to change things around. So what I always recommend to not just Paul, but everyone here is once you guys get funded, continue to trade the way that you traded to get funded. Don't change things up. I see a lot of people, it's funny. I'll see people join K2, they'll get funded, then they'll leave K2 and then they blow their account and then they come back to K2 a month later and they're like, oh, well, I got to come back and get funded again. And then they start to finally follow the rules. If you pass your Ftmo with K2, then continue using K2. That's the whole reason you got funded. But a lot of people they just get overly confident. They'll pass with K2 and then they'll think that they can do their own thing, which is fine. You guys can definitely go do your own thing. It's just, if you get too much into your head like that, and then you get too overly confident and too cocky with your trades, you can easily lose that funded account in an instant. So let's see, Paul's posted his profits over here. So Isaac over here locked on a total of 1,166. Nice work, Isaac. Tommy over here locked in a total of 3,400. Great work, Tommy. Paul over here too. Paul, so you can see right here, Paul's funded account. So he's now funded. Yesterday on the 23rd, he locked in 2,027. Today on the 24th, he locked in a total of 2,233. So great work right there, Paul. Just keep the consistency up. Make sure that your main goal every day is to not lose, right? You just want to make sure that you don't lose. As long as you continue to win, that's going to be key. And you're going to continue to just stack those profits every single day. Like for example, here, Paul is currently up about like 5,000. So if he gets his profit split, say tomorrow, say if he doesn't want to trade for the rest of the month and he goes for his profit split, he'll get his refund. And then on top of that, he'll get his 80%. So his take home is going to be 4,000. plus his refund for his fee or whatever. I don't know what account size you have, Paul. Let me see it. Your account size is 100K. So you paid about like 600. So you'll make about 4,600 payout, right? You pretty much made your money back, and you pretty much paid for like your whole, like maybe K2 for like 2 or 3 years with just 2 days of trading. So it's really key that you guys stay on point with your trading, and you guys keep the consistency. Because once you guys lose consistency, that's all that really matters. Because you guys can apply any strategy you want. It's just if you guys are consistent with it, you guys can continue to thrive applying those strategies. If you guys change things up, things are probably not going to end in the direction that you want it to. All right, so we have another low right here. I'm just going to draw another line down below here. And there goes the range. So now the range has gotten a little bit tighter. It's kind of just bouncing around this area. We'll see what happens next. Nice, Paul. Yeah, no, Paul said he only had one loss so far, 100K. He only lost about 627. So that's great work right there. You're managing your risk properly, Paul. Oh, gotcha. 627 is how much it costs. So yeah. So if you got a payout, like say tomorrow, like if you didn't want to trade anymore for the rest of the month, Paul, which is okay, you can do that. There's no minimum trading days. You would make 4,627, and that's after your split. So, but obviously you're not going to want to stop now that you have your mojo going, and you're continuing to push. Why not keep pushing, but push with proper risk. Don't like go and take like a 20 lot just cause. Nice. Okay, yeah, so Paul said it's 607 right now for anyone that wants to get a challenge for FTMO. That's nice. I guess they have a Black Friday sale going on. Kenneth's asking, is it always an 80% profit split? So it's 80%. Yeah, I mean, it was 70% before, Kenneth, but then they changed it to 80% like a couple of months ago. And then if you're consistent, like say, for example, if you're trading your account consistently for like 4 or more months, I think, or 6, I don't know if it's 4 or 6 months, then they'll increase your profit split to 90%. So it can go even higher. For me, I've been splitting my accounts up and then putting them together and merging them. So I'm not able to qualify for that. I'm thinking about merging my accounts back to 400K by next year. So if I do that, I just got to be consistent for like 4 or 6 months, and then they can increase my profit split to 90. But I like having the separate accounts because it allows me to manage my risk a little better. Meaning like if I have one trade running and it's a risky trade, I can close out the other one and let the other one continue to run. Versus having them all within one account and then risk blowing my account and losing everything all at once. So that's why I like having 2 separate accounts. But I think next year I might just merge them. So I'm just waiting for Maddie to get his payout from MFF. Once Maddie gets his payout from MFF, now I'll probably run an MFF account too, and then just copy my trades over there so that I can have multiple funded accounts with different companies at the same time. Other than that, the range has gotten tighter, 714 right now. So if you guys have questions, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Otherwise, if the market continues to move like this and it's pretty dead, then I'm probably just going to log off a little early today, guys, because we do have our mentoring session at 1. I just got to get off and I got to get everything all set up before I can be ready for the mentoring session later. So that's why if there's nothing that comes up and there's no questions, and probably in the next 20 or 30 minutes, I'll probably be logging off a little early before 8 so that we can get ready for the actual mentoring session later, where we can answer these questions more in detail. Professor said spreads on US 30 are not good with MFF as with FTMO. Paul said that's why I left MFF, hate those larger spreads. Yeah, and that's what I heard with a lot of people too. That's the main reason why I haven't gone to MFF yet, because there's a lot of issues with the spreads. Hey, Henry, how's it going? Henry said, sorry, I had to get a new laptop. I'm rebuilding TradingView. How can I find the K2 indicator? So Henry, to find the K2 indicators, go to indicators right here. Go to invite only scripts. If you have invite only scripts, if you're a subscriber to K2, you'll have this special tab right here. And then you'll find all of the K2 indicators right here on this list. So that's where you would find your K2 indicators if you're looking to re-add them to your chart, Henry. Nice, got a brand new laptop. New laptop, new profits. I'm waiting for my laptop to come in too, guys. I ordered the new MacBook Pro, just so that when I do travel, because I'm going to be traveling for Christmas, I will be trading with you guys during that time as well. So during the last week of Christmas, I will be trading with you guys. I know market might be a little slow, so there might not be any entries, but I did order the new MacBook Pro, the iMax or One Max, whatever it's called, Max One, whatever it is. And I ordered another screen too, so I can trade with you guys during the holidays. So guys, like, you know, a lot of people like to take it easy during the holidays, and things don't change with us, guys. We still trade either way, whether it's a holiday, whether the world is coming to an end, we'll be trading, because there's always going to be ways to trade. You know, if something's going on in the world, like, I mean, I hate to say it, like during COVID, a lot of people were scared. We kept trading during COVID, and that was actually our most profitable time, because volatility was super high and it was super easy to make profits. So, I mean, whatever's happening in the world, we're still going to be trading. All right, so the range looks like it's getting a little closer right here, which is cool. It's kind of what we're looking for. All right, so if you guys are wondering what these lines are, I'm pretty much just drawing the highs and lows. If they get broken or if they get invalidated, I delete them, but everything that hasn't been invalidated, I'm leaving them up. Like, for example, this high right here was invalidated by this following candle, so it's no longer the high. Currently right here, we have the low and the high. We have the wide range, middle range, and then this smaller range right here, which is cool because that's what we're looking for. Now I'm just waiting for it to break above it or break below it. So we got 1, 2, 3. We need 2 more candles in order for it to establish this as the high. So I don't want this candle to be broken for the next 2 candles. If it stays below here, if it breaks above, you can take that for a buy using the high-low scalp. However, I want to confirm the fundamentals first before we take those trades there. So looking at this over here, currently 130 points in the red. So it's still pretty bearish. Looking at the stock index right here, it's pretty red as well. But it's pretty, I mean, it's half, but majority is red, obviously, up here. Lastly, looking at the fundamentals over here for the futures, currently red. Looking at retail sentiment, it's currently 55% short. So it's been 55% all morning. Not really much of a change. So you can see right here, price broke this high. This is no longer the high. This is now going to be the new high right here. So let's move that over there. And there we go with this. All right, so Henry said, I got the indicators, but the trend meter below is solid blue. Do I go into settings and change the color so the trend meter can look like your chart? So Henry, for the trend meter below here, just go down to your settings. If you're trading, if you're scalping, then just change all of these the same as chart. You currently have your default settings, which is 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour. That's why it's solid blue, because the overall trend is indecisive. It's just pretty much neutral. But if you're trading on the 1 minute, you just want to change it to same as chart. Click OK. And then it's turn into these colors down here, because it's going to show you what the current trend is, not the overall trend. The overall trend is kind of it's irrelevant at this point, right? So there really isn't much for us to look at with regard to that. But other than that, let's see if there's anything else here. I think that's it. All right, so the high just keeps getting pushed higher and higher, which is completely fine. It's just making the range a little bit wider, which is normal. You know, it's nothing different there. But yeah, there really isn't much for us to take here. It's 6:19 right now, guys. So if you guys have more questions, you know, you're more than welcome to ask any questions that you guys have, and then I can answer them for you. Otherwise, if we don't have any questions, the market has kind of died down a bit. You can see volatility slowed down. A thing to keep in mind is that we also have news coming up at 7:30. So yeah, thanks, Sam. So Sam just confirmed we have crude oil inventories in about 10 minutes at 7:30. And that's going to be the next news event. That's why I'm not really looking to take any trades. So if you guys do have questions, drop your questions in the chat. Otherwise, you know, today's session played out kind of like what we anticipated, right? We anticipated price either to be very volatile or to be very slow, or if it was to be volatile, it'd slow down halfway through the session. The reason why the market's moving like this and it's kind of slowed down is because tomorrow is Thanksgiving. If you guys are not in the US, you guys aren't familiar with Thanksgiving, but if you guys are in the US, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, which is one of the biggest holidays here in the US, aside from Christmas and New Year's. So with that said, you know, a lot of people are pulling out of the market. For Thanksgiving, a lot of families get together, and people are on vacation, right? People are traveling, they're going to see their families, visit their families and stuff like that. And that's why the market has kind of died down a bit, because a lot of people are just not trading. The market makers in big banks, a lot of them have gone early vacation for the week. So that's why the market has kind of just died down a bit. So what I do recommend is if you guys do decide to continue to trade, you can see that a lot of the volatility came out this morning already. So this morning, all the volatility kind of came out, and then I'll kind of slow down a bit. And then you can see that people are trying to buy the dip here as well from earlier because it dumped so heavily. Or this might be pre-market due to the news event. Let's see. Is there anything else right now? Yeah, nothing right here at all. Interesting. Yeah, guys, and just keep in mind that tomorrow we're not going to be trading. So just FYI, if you guys are wondering, tomorrow we're not going to be trading. Tomorrow's a holiday, just like I mentioned. So the market's literally going to be pretty much dead. And the US 30 market is not even going to be open. So there's no reason for us to be online tomorrow for the live session. That's why I want to knock out that mentoring session today, make sure we get all the answers, all the questions answered. And you guys can go into the rest of the week with all the tools you need and all the information you need to back test or forward test as much as you guys like during the rest of the holiday week. Yeah, Paul said I'm done for the day and the week. I'm going to really for the holiday weekend. Nice, Paul. Yeah, so I wonder if you're driving out there. Hopefully it's not, the weather's not too bad. We're driving all across California this week, so I'll be up in LA tomorrow. I'll be down in San Diego on Friday. So I'll be going up and down California this whole week for the holidays. And weather here is nice. Hopefully it's nice over there in Raleigh. And I can't remember if that's North Carolina or South Carolina, but I know it does get a little cold out there. Hey Kenny, yeah. Kenny said happy early Thanksgiving to everyone. Definitely. Rav is asking, is there trading on Friday? Yeah, Rav. So on Friday, I will be online. Market might be a bit slow because it's the day after the holiday. It might be a little bit slower. It might be pretty crazy because there's going to be two different types of people, right? There's going to be the kind of people who are just waiting to trade, and there's going to be waiting to take some trades. And there's going to be a lot of people who are just taking an extended holiday where they're just taking the rest of the week off. So I will be here on Friday for the live session. But it might be a short session, just depending on how the market's moving. It'll be a risky to trade though, Rav. So it's something that you want to keep in mind if you do decide to trade on that day. It's going to be similar to trading like on a Monday, Rav. So how the market's closed on over the weekend. On Monday, the market's kind of erratic, moving back and forth, kind of crazy. That's probably how Friday's going to be as well, because a lot of the pending orders from Thursday are going to be filled, and it's going to cause a lot of regular price movements in the market. So let's see if there's anything else right here. So there's a high and there's another low being established right here. So I'll hang on for a little bit, guys. If you guys have questions, drop your questions in the chat. Once it hits about 7:30 or a little bit below it or before it, I will probably just be logging off a little early today. Just keep in mind that we'll be back in a couple hours. So I'll be going on at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So it's 7 right now. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. In about 7 hours, I'll be back online for the K2 group mentoring session. And I'll be here answering all the questions. So if you guys have any questions regarding any of the strategies, I'll go over them with you guys. I'll go over them in detail. I'll explain all of my, and that's kind of what I want to do too. I kind of want to have I want to review a lot of the stuff that we went over last time, because I know I went over my confluences. That's another one that I'll go over today with you guys. So, just be ready to take some notes if you guys are going to be sitting in. It will be recorded. So if you guys are going to miss it, if you guys can't make it, it's completely fine. It will be recorded so that you guys can rewatch it later and pretty much just pull all the nuggets that I give you guys. Because, I'm fully transparent with you guys. I teach you guys exactly what I know and what I apply. There's nothing that I hide from you guys. Everything that I look at, all my confluences, all the websites I look at, pretty much all the tools that I use, they're available to your disposal. So if you guys want to trade exactly how I do, you guys can. You guys just have to practice and get everything down. You just got to keep in mind that this isn't something that you guys are going to learn like in one day or in even 1 week. Some people will join K2 for a week and expect to be like masters at trading just because you guys have my strategies. If you guys have my strategies, that works because you guys have winning strategies, but you also have to train your trade psychology and you have to understand risk management. That's key always. because my strategies it's something that anyone can put together. It's just that I put them together in a way that anyone can learn them, especially with the indicators that I've developed here. So other than that, you can see prices coming back here for a double test or a quadruple test. Actually, you can see that this Asia low right here has been tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about 5 times right here, this has been tested over here. So price might just be bouncing right off it. Randy said, what? Not making money in one day? I quit. Yeah, no, Randy gets it. Randy totally gets it. Yeah, Randy, your emails always crack me up whenever I see your emails. Randy's such a cool guy. See, Donnie over here said, hey, Sean, sorry to take your eyes off the Dow, but when you get a chance, can you tell me what your input is on RJPY? I placed a sell stop on a close of the previous sell momentum. Wanted to hear your thoughts on it. I'm trying to get better at identifying situations for pending orders. Yeah, no problem. So I don't really see anything here off of US 30, guys. So I'm going to go over to RJPY to analyze it for Donnie real quick. Hey, Donnie, can you confirm what time frame you're trading on? I'll start off on the 4-hour, and then I can, go down to the lower ones if you're trading on a lower time frame. But I will start the analysis on the 4-hour. It's about to be 6. Okay, perfect. You're trading on the 4-hour. So the market is about to shift at not really shift. We're having some news at 7:30, which is the crude oil inventories. And then you guys want to be a little careful if you're entering trades right now. So let me go over here real quick and go to RJPY. Man, I haven't analyzed a Forex pair in a long time, but it's the same thing. It's the same difference, guys. So like, I'll show you guys exactly how I analyze the charts, right? So here's the naked chart. There's like literally nothing on the chart, right? The first thing that I do when I analyze the chart is I turn on the K2 SR version 2 indicator, and I do this to identify where the rejection points are. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to draw a zone below here. I go from either top to bottom or bottom to top. So for right here, we got a zone down there. We got a zone right here. The only time that I draw a bigger zone is when they overlap. If they're separate, then I just keep them completely separate. But you can see that the same analysis works for everything. It doesn't matter if you're trading Forex, cryptos, indices, stocks, same analysis. First thing I do is I draw all of the zones here. And this is only if I'm trading on the higher time frames because I'm looking for those bigger moves. And these strategies still work perfectly fine on Forex. All right, so looking at that there, once I have this all drawn up, what I do next is I'm going to turn off the indicator. Right, and you can see perfectly drawn rejection points, right? So for example, if we were to replay this from over here, and we drew those zones, you can see if you go back far in time, like you could go back years, and these same exact zones are tested, right? You can see that I tested. So let me just show you again real quick. I drew these zones just now for today, right? This is for today's time. If you go back really far back, to like January of 2021. So you go back to January, the same exact zones that I drew today were tested in January, right? So we have a history of data points right here of where price generally rejects from. So you go back to January, you can see it was in consolidating from January up until February. Bullish move, huge range right here from February up until March, even longer from February up until May, broke above, new range right here, broke below here, range right here, broke below here, range right here. And you can see that we have perfectly drawn market structure, right? So like if you go back in time, and this is why these indicators are very useful because it helps simplify your ability to analyze the charts. Like we're back here in February, right? If you go back in February, these same zones are from today. You can see how perfect they bounce off them, right? And the thing with this is the K2SR indicator, it automatically adjusts. You see right here, we have the older zones from prior. And whenever price pushes above there, it creates brand new zones. And then as time progresses, it gets rid of the old zones and then it puts in the new zones. So that's why these indicators here are very useful. A lot of people don't like the K2 indicators. I don't understand what's not to like. They help you so much with identifying what's important and what's not. So once I draw the zones like this, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my confluences, right? One of my confluences is going to be the momentum indicator. So right here, I have a sell momentum. The next thing that I have set up here is going to be the trend meter. So I'm looking at the overall trend over here. You can see that the overall trend is neutral, right? When it's blue, this indicates that the trend is bullish, right? So like, for example, right here, I mean, not blue, it's green, it's bearish, it's bullish. So from this point right here, trend meter is green, you got a buy signal, bullish push to the upside. Again, right here, trend meter is green, you got a buy signal right there, bullish move to the upside. So if you're applying the intraday strategy, literally you're matching green and green, full TP. Green and green, full TP, right? Green and green, another full TP depending on how far you're going, right? So as you guys can see, this is the very basic strategy that you guys can apply. So one of my confluences here is going to be the trend meter. It's indecisive right here, so I don't really have a bias with regard to where I want to trade. Pulling up next, I'll pull up the pivots. You can see price was below the pivots and it was trending down. You can see the trend meter here was red. It was dropping, blue, sideways, red, dropping, blue, sideways, red, dropping back down. And then right now it's blue. So looking at current price, it's just consolidating. It's going sideways at this moment. I'm turning this off just to clean up the chart a little bit. Once we have this set up like this, you can kind of tell where price is going to go, right? Price is indecisive. So price can do one of two things. Price can either break above here and swing back to the upside, or price can swing back below and come back and retest this sell right here. So for Donnie, it looks like Donnie said that he has a sell stop at the close of the previous sell momentum. So what Donnie has right here is he has a pending sell right here. Just ready to catch this as it comes back down, which I don't think is a horrible move, Donnie. I think it's okay. The only problem that you have is that there's no clear direction, right? So one thing that you also can do is you can turn on the K2, the new indicator, the K2 high-low indicator, right? And as you can see right here, you can kind of draw. You can do what we're doing here on the shorter time frames, but on the higher time frame. So like, for example, here on the 4 hour, if you're to draw this right here, do you see what I see at this time, Donnie? If I turn this off, see what price is doing? It's consolidating. The last thing you want to do when you enter this trade is you want to enter a sell and then you price. So this is what could possibly happen. So say you enter the sell right here because you have a sell stop. Price comes down to this low, and then what happens from here? Price can do one of two things. It can bounce off and reverse on you, or it can break below and hit your TP. So this isn't necessarily what I'd be interested in looking at, right? I'd be looking for it to break below here, and then you could enter down here so that you can catch the rest of the move, right? Because that'll hit your TP. The last thing you want to do is enter a sell stop here and just be hopefully praying that it'll drop lower, which there's no guarantee it'll happen. And it'll bounce back up. So that's how you weigh your pros and cons and how you measure your probability, right? What are the odds of it bouncing off here? I would say odds are kind of high because if you move this line over here, so you can see that price has actually tested this area a lot of times. So this low right here, you can see where it's tested it right here, double wick, swing back to the upside. You can see where it's tested it right here. Bounced up, shot right back up, and then it tested it again right here. So when it comes back to that point, you could kind of see exactly what can happen right here, right? Price will either bounce off it like it did over here, or it can break below it like it did over here. But you can see when price broke below the line right here, it dropped even further. So if you were to wait for it to actually close below this line, you could actually catch it for a pretty big move right there. It dropped like 40 pips. So, it's about weighing the pros and cons. You just got to go and see what's the best case scenario. So best case scenario for you is it hits it and it just dumps, right? That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is price comes down, rejects off here and bounces right back up. So, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to analyze this. I'm just showing you guys what I look at and what hints I look at in the market to identify exactly what would cause this to go up or down. So hopefully that helps. Donnie, I was hoping I could give you a more concrete answer, but as you can see right here, there's a lot of red flags, right? I can see where you can anticipate the move to happen, but there are also a lot of red flags here because, rejection points. And then on top of that, areas here where it's been tested before in the past. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully it plays out in your favor. But I personally wouldn't have taken that trade right there. With the knowledge that we have at this time, like I'd probably wait for it to close below here and then enter it. Because if you think about it, this is only a few pips. Like if you're into that sell stop, you got like a 12 pip move right there. It's not really that much. Other than that, let's see. So Donnie said it does. Something I'm gonna look at going forward. Yeah, no, definitely. All right, other than that, let's see. The other question here was from Randy. Randy's asking, what are my settings set? So for my K2SR version 2, it's the same thing. It's going to be the default settings. I haven't changed anything on there. So if you go over here real quick, the version 2, it's just going to be bars are at 100, lines length is 500, and show body levels will be on to show you that you have the actual zones there, not just lines. Other than that, let's see, let me scroll down a little lower. B's asking, can you explain why you want to merge your accounts to 400K by the end of the year? What lot size would you use if you did this? So the main reason why I would want to merge it is so that I can get the 90% split. I would just double my lot size. So right now I'm currently using a 10 lot. If I'm on a 400K, I'll choose a 20 lot. It's pretty much the same thing, just double my lot size because it's a double account size. That's the main reason why I would want to do it, but I can still get the 90-10 split on the 200K. So I might just keep them, but I want to decide because at the end of the year, what I'm looking for is if Ftmo ends up allowing a bigger account size, right? Because 400K is the biggest account size now. I think they did that this year. If next year, if they increase it to like 600K or 800K, then I would want to just keep merging them into a bigger account and then have that scale higher. Because what happens is if you trade and you're consistent long enough, they'll increase your account size. So they'll just add more capital to your account versus the smaller one. Sorry, IRS in the chat. Are you guys hearing that little like a jackhammer outside? They're doing construction outside, guys. Sorry, they're doing construction outside my office window. So that's probably what you guys heard. The snoring. It was like a jackhammer outside that was running away. I just realized that it did sound like a snore. My bad, guys. Yeah, other than that, let's see if there's anything else here. So this high over here was actually broken. And there was nothing that was available over here. That's funny, G1. I didn't realize you even said that earlier, that there was that like thumping noise or like grinding noise on the outside. But yeah, there's someone doing, well, not someone, but they're doing construction outside my office window. I mean, they're far up. I'm so high off the floor, but you can hear the echo from the bottom because there's like a courtyard outside of my my office. But yeah, other than that, guys, let me see if there's anything else here. Donnie said, just say you're waiting for them to offer $1 million account so you can take over the world. Right, Donnie? That's the key, man. The key is just trying to grow the account. Because the thing is, if you're trying to scale your account up, it takes a long time to scale the account, like with regard to what requirements they have. The better thing is like when they start to actually increase the total account size that you can have, which I'm sure they'll do as they get better and better traders each year. They'll just increase the ability to expand your account. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for now. It's 7:40 right now, so it's getting close to 8. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out through Telegram or email. And just keep in mind that we do have our mentoring session today at 1. So it's about to be 8 o'clock right now. We have about 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So we have about 5 hours until the mentoring session. So you guys have a lot of time. I'm just going to try to get stuff together so I know what to talk about with regard to, I know a lot of things that you guys want to see are my confluences, and then a lot of these new strategies that we've been applying here. Let's see, B said, damn, trading on 30-40 lot would be scary looking at price. Exactly, B. And that's kind of why I don't like merging the accounts. Like, I'm pretty good with like seeing the profits go up to like, well, like me moving from like 100K to a 200K, it was a big jump for me too, because I'd go from making like $500 to $1,000 per trade. Going to a 20 lot, I'll be making like 2,000, and for a 40 lot or 30 lot, you'd be making like way more. So it's something that you want to be careful with, because when you start increasing lot size like that, that's when greed starts to come into. Let's see, Eric just gave me a link for Mint funding. Let's see, I've never heard of Mint funding before. Nice. So Eric just gave me this link for this Mint funding right here. I guess they offer $1 million in funding. Let's see. $7,500. Wow. So you got to make. That's pretty nice. See, the max drawdown is oh, this is a daily. Actually, this is not that bad. Keep 75%, compound your account, first withdrawal whenever you want. I've never heard of this company before. I'll probably do some research on this. Eric, thanks for letting us know. I'll take a look at this. You guys just want to be careful if you guys are looking at other funding companies, because there's so many different funding companies here. One thing that I would like to look at is to where they're located. Let's see. I mean, their location doesn't necessarily. Thing is, they've only been around for a year, so like that's another red flag there. Not that it's necessarily going to be a horrible thing, but they've only been around for a year. So if you guys remember Funding Talent, they were around for a year, and what happened to them? They got shut down. That's why I like Ftmo, because they've been around for so long. See, the one thing that I don't like here is that they don't have their location. They should be indicating where the company is located. Because if they're trying to hide where they're located, this company might be located in like Nigeria or something, right? They can be some fake company that can just be, or like in one of those like little islands, pretty much like. So I'll have to do a little more. I'll have to do a little more digging on this to see how legit they are, because they don't even have one countries are allowed. Yeah, I don't know. This is just this, a lot of this stuff is just, I've never heard of this. The main thing is that I've never heard of this company, right? If the company was like that good of a company, I probably would have heard of it. But no, I'll definitely I'll look them up a little later. But thanks, Eric, for confirming this so that I can take a look later. Let's see, Maddie said 1 minute coming up. All right, possible high-low scalp right here, guys. Thanks, Maddie, for letting me know. We got 20 seconds left on this candle right here. Ah, man, it's gonna be risky. It's such a big candle. Let's see. See how it plays out. I have to adjust my TP stop loss. It's such a big candle. Well, the thing is, my stop loss is super wide out there, so I got a lot of space. See, I'm gonna move my stop loss in profit. So I'm ready to move my stop loss in profit. There you go, full TP. Nice work, Maddie. Oh man, Maddie. Oh, you a beer or something, bro? Maddie, there we go. Full TP off of that. So yeah, there we go. And you gotta trust Maddie, man. Maddie knows what he's looking for. So Maddie gave me the update with this. Maddie said, come on, I'm gonna let you miss that. Exactly. Full TP off that right there. Wow. That was a nice move, Maddie. Thanks, bro. Made 1,190 off that. There you go. All right, guys. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. Yeah, Maddie, I got you, bro. Maddie's like, yo, me a tequila shot, definitely, man. So there you go, Maddie. Made 1,000 off that right there, real quick. So yeah, if you guys are looking for these trades here, I'll give you guys a screenshot of that stuff too. So let's check the profits real quick, or I'll do that shortly. I was waiting for that trade like all day, like literally this whole session. I was like, man, I just want one trade, just one trade. And there we go. Got that one trade right there. So that's what you guys got to do, right? Like what Maddie did here is he was waiting for those perfect entries. We were waiting for it. I was waiting for it. We're all waiting for it. And there we go. So I'm in profit. Let me take a screenshot of my stuff right here. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad for a Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I wasn't expecting to take anything today, but oh man, account's looking nice. All right. Post a screenshot right there. There we go. All right, so I'm up 1,500 off this account, and then I'm up 2,102 on this account. So definitely nice work off that. That was quick, super quick. You had to think off your feet. Like I was thinking for a second, should I take it? Should I take it? And I was like, nah, I'm gonna take it, and I took it. So great work right there. Profits to the like some nice profits to the K2. Sorry. All right. So it looks good right there, guys. So I'm going to this Thanksgiving on a good note. That trade right there. I'm not gonna lie, I was just kind of worried about that trade because the candle was so big. But no, definitely great work right there. So looking at this right here, Orain, yeah, nice profit right here, Orain. Well over a couple $1,000 right there. 1,400, nice work. So Orain made 1,400 off that, off his accounts right here, or off his trades for the day. Jonathan over here locked in a total of 355. Nice work, Jonathan. Going over here real quick. Nathan locked in a total of 2,574. Nice work, Nathan. Charlie over here locked in a total of 517. He says he's gonna stop while he's ahead. Nice work, Charlie. Brian over here locked in a total of 3,198. Great work, Brian. Paul over here locked in a total of 4,000 for the week so far. Great work, Paul. So great work amongst everyone here. You know, great to see everyone profiting every day here. You know, the consistency, everyone's doing great. I mean, it's just all about consistency and sticking to the plan, guys. Jay over here as well. Minimum for the challenge and verification, but once funded, you're good. Nice. So Jay, he just got, he locked in a total of 4,603. Nice. Jay said, dude, I'm getting the Black Friday sale. So Maddie, Jay's about to be back on K2 soon. And FTMO. So looks like we finally talked him back into it. Yeah, no, definitely. Nice work right there, Jonathan. Joshua over here too. Joshua locked in a total of 865. All wins, no losses. Nice work, Joshua. All about the consistency there, guys. Gene Vaughn over here too. Yeah, look at Gene Vaughn. He's on fire. All wins, no losses for the day. 1,711. Great work, Gene Vaughn. Keep it up. Over here, we got Vincent. Vincent, total of 1,152. Nice work, Vincent. Big congrats to you right there. Maddie over here too. Maddie's the one that gave me the trade. So big shout out to Maddie over here for shouting out that sell. Locked in all wins today, no losses. Total of 1,890. Great work, Maddie. Let's see, we got anything else over here real quick? I think that's it for right now. I'll look over the personal messages a little later, but yeah, I think that's it for right now. Other than that, I think we're solid. I'll move this a little lower down here. And I think that's it for now. So definitely great work amongst everyone here. Maddie again here off his other account. So now he's up 1,050. I think this might be your MFF. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said, need to show my losses, keep myself accountable. Made a mistake, but he came right back. So he made a mistake off that trade right there, which is fine. It happens. And then he bounced right back, made it all back right here below. So great work right there, Maddie. And he's still locking the bad, 100%. Yeah, guys. So I think that's it for now. Let me see if there's anything else here that I missed. B said, damn, only made 650 off that instead of 1K. It's probably because of the volatility, B. It's too quick. Henry's asking, what did Maddie see to take the trade? He was applying the high-low scalp strategy, Henry. So he just looked for the requirements there. Roger said, when you have been talking about the momentum strategy recently, is it the momentum pullback? It's the original momentum one, Roger. So it's the intraday strategy. It's the one where you just match the trend meter with the momentum signal. So like, for example, if you get a buy signal and it's the trend meter is green, that would have been the entry there for that specific strategy. It's not necessarily meant for the 1 minute, but you can use it as a confluence, on the shorter time frames. But it shouldn't be used standalone on its own on the short time frames because it's meant for the 30-minute and higher. But you can use it on shorter time frames. Obviously, it's just not going to be as accurate. Yeah, no problem, Roger. All right, guys. So I think that's it for the day. It's 6:51 right now. So the market is slowing down a bit as we get closer to the New York close. I mean, we're not that far. We're not that far from it, but you guys want to keep in mind that the Fed is speaking today. So I'm not really looking to trade during the Fed when they speak. They're speaking at 11 o'clock today. So you guys want to be very careful if you guys decide to trade during that period. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for today. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. No, that looks about it. So guys, if you guys want to attend the live mentoring session later, it'll be today at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that's in about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, in about 5 hours. In about 5 hours, I'll be back live here for the mentoring session. But until then, I recommend that you guys be a little careful when you guys trade. Keep in mind that tomorrow is a holiday, a big holiday at that. So you're probably going to expect a lot of unusual price movement in the market from now until then. So if you guys have questions, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. Otherwise, I would recommend that you guys keep your questions until later during the mentoring session so that we can answer them live. It's probably going to be better for me to answer it live for you rather than typing it out so that you guys understand it better and I can show you on the chart real time exactly what I mean by my explanation. So other than that, guys, I think this is it for this session. If you guys have questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here in about 5 hours for the group mentoring session at 1 p.m. Pacific.